everyone, welcome back to New Venture Mentor. I'm your host, Kate Costa, and today we're talking about one of the issues that new entrepreneurs often find the toughest to talk about: how to split up equity between the founders of a startup. As you put together your team for building your business, it can be a bit of an awkward conversation to sit down and start doling out ownership of the company that doesn't even exist yet, especially if you have personal relationships with the people you're founding it with. Now, many entrepreneurs find this discussion to be so awkward that they actually put it off, and then they have a huge headache on their hands when they don't have anything down in writing, the company has started to grow, and founders disagree on what direction the company should head in and how much of it each one owns. You can avoid this whole mess by taking the bull by the horns from the beginning and hashing all of this out from the start. Trust me, it's way less awkward to have these conversations now than it is to have them after you've all been working for a year. If you want your relationships and your company to remain intact, get this equity split business handled right away. So, if you're with me and you want to get this figured out right now, how do you determine who gets what? To be honest, there's no right way of splitting up the equity in a startup, but there are a few things to take into consideration with your co-founders as you determine who's entitled to how much of the company. First up is any financial contribution. Some founders chip in cold hard cash to fund a business and some don't. Clearly, if someone is putting in money, he or she should be compensated for that contribution just as any other investor would be with equity. Next up is sweat equity. 99% of the time, startups are built through the sheer determination and hard work of their founding teams, and that sweat equity that is put in and not compensated with the typical salary and benefits package should definitely be compensated with equity instead. Be honest about the contributions that each member of the team is making. How much time are they putting in? How integral to the company's success is the work that they're doing? How much would you have had to pay an outsider to do the same work? Now, some of you might be working part-time, some might be full-time, some might be chipping in where possible but not actually have a regular commitment. All of this is typically taken into account when you're determining your equity splits. You'll also want to consider the experience level and roles of all of your founding team members. This overlaps quite a bit with the sweat equity piece, but it's worth noting that a senior executive foregoing salary and working full-time isn't really of the same value as an entry-level worker foregoing salary and working full-time. Additionally, most founding teams take the idea and any associated intellectual property into account. Now, how this is done varies widely. If there is formal intellectual property, meaning patents, copyrights, trademarks, etc., brought in by one team member, that intellectual property certainly has value, and that value should be noted. When it comes to the idea itself, however, opinions diverge. Some people believe that the person who originally had the idea should get the lion's share of equity. Others believe that the success of a business has so much more to do with execution than with the idea, that bringing the idea is worth almost nothing when divvying up equity, and then others fall somewhere in between these two extremes. It doesn't matter so much what you believe in this instance, it just matters that you and your co-founders are on the same page about it, and that all of these details have been figured out and put in writing from the beginning. Finally, you'll want to make sure that those co-founders who remain involved in the company's growth and development over the long haul are compensated differently than those who are a part of building the business at the very beginning, but then depart long before the company reaches success. Now, everyone, and I do mean everyone, should be on a vesting schedule so that anyone who leaves long before the rest of the founders does not get the same amount of ownership as those who stick around through it all. Again, these are some factors that are most commonly considered when dividing ownership rights between co-founders, and they'll hopefully help you get the conversation rolling with your co-founders and steer that conversation to the most relevant pieces of information. But the key here is that you address the issue and get everything in writing from the beginning, not that you divvy up equity based on some template. That's it for this week. I hope you liked this video, and I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up on YouTube if you did. If you're feeling especially generous, a small fan funding donation would be amazing, but no worries if you can't. Either way, don't forget to sign up for my free email newsletter at katecosta.com and to subscribe to my YouTube channel right here so you'll never miss the latest tips and info to help you plan, launch, and grow your business.